in Nairobi. Through a viral video shared online, the man was seen struggling to resist arrest by unidentified men dressed in black who are attempting to forcibly shove him into a car parked nearby. Gertrude Bugay now reports on the latest incident following the recent disappearance of social media influencers Peter Mutati and Bernard Kavule, with the protests expected to take place tomorrow petitioning the unlawful arrest and abduction in the country.
Footage has surfaced showing yet another Kenyan allegedly abducted in Nairobi's South B area last evening, just days after the disappearance of social media influencer Peter Muteti and Bernard Kavule. The viral video shows the man struggling to resist capture by unidentified men dressed in black as he calls for help. The footage further reveals that the man's pleas went unanswered as he was forcefully shoved into a Toyota Probox car, which was parked nearby. Eyewitnesses disclosed that the incident occurred during a football match gathering at a local entertainment spot. Minutes into the game, the commotion outside brought everything to a standstill.
Up until around 7:30 towards 8. So all of a sudden, there was a commotion outside. So when we got outside, one of the boys was being pursued, and another who also works on the same stage na ni mtu anatubebanga na pikipiki. So people are like, what is happening? Are these thieves? Because no one was wearing any uniform.
John, not his real name and a key witness, revealed that the man was taken to a local police station for unknown reasons. Attempts by close friends to visit or check on his whereabouts were barred by the police officers, raising questions about the legality of the This incident has sparked outrage, with the Embakasi East MP Babu Owino calling for a special parliamentary session to address the alarming rise in abduction cases. Protests are expected to take place tomorrow, petitioning against the increasing case of unlawful arrests and abductions across the country. Gertrude Bugay, K24 TV.
And away from that, elected leaders from some of the affected counties are now joining the call to return the abducted Kenyans to their families. Definitely, we will be bringing you that story later on. And President William Ruto has today hosted Ghana's President-elect John Dramani Mahama in Kilgoris as part of the agenda. The two leaders discussed, among other issues, Raila Odinga's candidacy for the African Union Commission chairperson. The former Prime Minister was also present during the meeting, where he received a major boost in his quest to land the AUC seat. The issues of the expansion of the intra-African trade under the African Continental Free Trade Area was also part of the agenda. Mahama of the Nation Democratic Congress (NDC) invited the two leaders to his swearing-in ceremony, which is scheduled for January 7th in Accra, Ghana. Mahama returned as the president after the early December polls, when he beat the ruling New Patriotic Party candidate Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia. And the capital is indeed a fascinating city. It hosts a national park, museum, and a rich historical parks significant to Kenya's evolving political history. Tonight, we take you on a tour of the little-known Murumbi Peace Memorial Park. Take a look.
In the heart of City Park, an urban mini-jungle in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, we explore Kenya's rich history of the Murumbi Peace Memorial Park. The park is tucked just a few meters from the Aga Khan Hospital. It was established to honor a prominent political figure and a prolific stamps and artifacts collector in the Kenyan history.
This is the Murumbi Peace Memorial Park, where the first vice president to ever resign in the Kenyan history and the second vice president after the country got its independence decided to be his final resting place, together with his wife Sheila. This park was created by Alan Donovan, who was one of Murumbi's closest friends, whom together they formed and opened the first Pan-African art gallery in Nairobi.
It is more of a garden of permanent sculptures where leading East African sculptors like the late Elkanah Ongesa's art is in display. It is also where the second Vice President of the Republic of Kenya, Joseph Murumbi, and his wife are rested.
This is Joseph Murumbi's gravesite, and besides is the wife's Sheila Murumbi, who they died 10 years apart. And an interesting thing to note is that just few meters up there we have Pio Gamapinto's gravesite. Remember, Pio Gamapinto was Murumbi's political mentor, and he was the victim of the first assassination case in the country.
According to Francis Ekamais, who guards the park, Murumbi chose the 103-year-old city park as his final resting place. It is believed he chose the place as it is where his close friend Pio Gamapinto was buried. In the old World War cemetery, Pinto was assassinated in front of his house just 2 years after independence.
This is the gravesite of Joseph Murumbi's best friend Pio Gamapinto, who was assassinated in 1965. And in the tombstone you can see he was a political detainee between 1954 to 1959, and also he served as a member of parliament between 1963 to 1965, where he met his untimely death.
Lakini iliyofanya akazikwa hapa ni kwa sababu ya rafiki wake yule Pio Gamapinto, ndio ilimfanya akazikwa hapa. So sasa Pio Gamapinto amezikwa kwa hizi makaburi za Second World War, lakini sasa yeye akazikwa kwa hii kuashiria ako karibu na rafiki wake Pio Gamapinto.
A few months later, after the assassination of Pio Gamapinto, Murumbi resigned from the founding father of the nation, Jomo Kenyatta's government, in 1966 and subsequently withdrew from politics, later becoming the chairperson of the Kenya National Archives and co-founder of the African Heritage.
Hakufanya ile kazi ya uongozi aliyopewa na rais wa jamhuri alipoanza ile uongozi. Hakuifanya kwa muda, aliifanya kwa miezi 4, na baada ya kuifanya kwa miezi 4 aliresign na akaenda kuwa kama artist. So kuna michongo ambazo mnaziona hapa, hiyo ndio ilikuwa kazi yake kubwa.
The Peace Park was at one point a subject of contention when a development scheme was considered, which led to vandalism and neglect of the site through the late 90s. The site is currently maintained by volunteers.
Kuna migogoro ilikuweko hapo mbeleni kiasi kati ya shamba mnayoiona hapa kando na hii park. Serikali ikawa imepigania kwa sababu lile shamba ilijulikana kama ya Juma, ilikuwa ya Juma. Yaani wanasema ni ya Juma, lakini ilikuwa ni migogoro ya serikali na yule Juma. Lakini Juma yule akawa ameondokea dunia, ikabaki ni kuwa mke wake ndiye anashughulika naye. Kulingana hata na majirani hapa hivi, wanasema mke wake bado yupo, ingawa mimi sijamuona. Sasa shamba lake ni hii mnalitazama kule, na hiyo bado ipo kwa sababu hiyo shamba ilikuwa inahitaji alikuwa anahitaji kuiuza, lakini haijakubalika kwa sababu mambo ya serikali hauwezi ukaingilia zaidi.
Kwa Murumbi, mimi hapa nimejitolea kama security. Hakuna mtu mwenye ananilipa. Nimejitolea baka kwa usafi. Mimi ndio wanafanya usafi hapa.
Amidst the struggle and bustle of the city, below the giant trees, city residents sit on the benches in the dire search for serenity and coexistence with Mother Nature.
Watu wengi hapa wanakuja kujipumzisha, kupunguzia mawazo hapa juu. Unajua saa zingine mtu ametoka huko amechoka, anasema acha anataka kupunguza mawazo kidogo. Ndio ifike masaa yake ile yenye anataka kuenda, yeye anaenda.
Being an ardent collector of art, including 50,000 documents on Africa, this park has been dedicated to artists to showcase their art. Ventura Komboka for K24 TV, Nairobi. Well, with that intriguing feature there, we take another breather here at K24 Sunday Review. I'll see you in a short while with more news.
As we celebrate this joyful season